Civic Auditorium on this Friday of the World Animation Celebration. Very special tribute to Mr. Hanna and Mr. Barbera.
All the words to the Flintstone theme song?
Yes.
I'll give you $100 if you sing those, but make no mistakes. You want to take the $100?
Oh, I'm not sure I would take it.
That's you take the money?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, you gotta sing the song first.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
All right, here we go. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family. From the town of Bedrock, they're a history. When they go driving down the street through the courtesy of Fred's 2 feet. Oh, when you're with the Flintstones, have a yabba dabba do time, a dabba do time. You'll have a gay old time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kasem.
Thank you, everybody. Old buddy, old friend, old pal. Here we are with the best animators in the whole world. I hope there are no ghosts. My first claim to fame, playing Shaggy on Scooby-Doo back in 1968 when it all started and lasted for 23 years. And that was a couple of years before I started American Top 40. You know, so many things have been said about Bill and Joe tonight, and there's so much more to say. But I'm not going to say it. I'll just say that these two men are genius, creative geniuses. And one other thing I'll add, and I know I speak on behalf of all the actors in this town. Nowhere in this town is there a studio where the actor is more respected and is shown more kindness. And it's because of Bill and Joe who set the tone. It is a happy place to work and makes you proud to be an actor. Not to mention, it boosts your ego. I have the pleasure now of introducing some of the people who are cartoon stars, and in one way or another. Now I'd like to introduce you to some of the people who help write and draw and give voice to the characters. And as I call their names, if they'll please join us. Ken Spears, co-founder of Ruby Spears Enterprises. He and his partner Joe Ruby started in the editing department of Hanna-Barbera. Davis Goy, he started as a cub animator and is now a supervising producer on Hanna-Barbera shows. Bill Perez, animator, producer of many Hanna-Barbera shows. Bill? Meryl Welton, animator, animation checker, and scene planner on the Flintstones and many, many more. Iraj Paran, he created the graphic opening titles and closing credits for Hanna-Barbera shows for years. Mark Young, he started as a writer, went on to start MGM Animation, and is now super producer for Triage Entertainment. Scott Shaw, longtime animator and Flintstone expert. He knows everything there is to know, starting when he was young. Gordon Hunt, longtime casting and recording director, television live-action director, and proud father of the Academy Award nominee this year, Helen Hunt. Earl Gress, writer who produced their albums. Scott Gerald, design supervisor. Lance Falk, he started as a costume character and is now a character designer. And Kurt Hansen, character designer. BJ Ward, BJ, the voice of Tana of the Jungle, or Jeddah of the Jungle, I'm sorry. And so many more. That's okay. Also one of the finest singers anywhere in the world today. Al Gamur, background supervisor.
There's a very, very special person in the audience who I would like to defer the Lifetime Awards to giving to Mr. Hanna and Mr. Barbera. Sarah Baisley, Editor-in-Chief of Animation Magazine, will present it.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to serve both these men for 13 years, and the whole cast and crew and the staff of the Hanna-Barbera studios and all the studios that we got. It was, as Margaret put it so well, it was probably the best times of our lives. And now I'd like to present Bill Hanna and Joe Barbera.
Thank you. This is the evening of my life, and also a Lifetime Achievement Award. And it has been a wonderful evening, and I thank all of you for being here. And I think that all I can say is God bless every one of us. Bye-bye.
I'd like to mumble a few words. This evening has been the most exciting time of my life. And I see all these people lined up there and say, God bless all of them, because without them we wouldn't be here. The Flintstone, you know, was the first crack at a primetime animated show. I think we opened the door with that one. But selling it was an ordeal. I was in New York for 8 weeks, staying at a hotel. Now, I don't know whether you know it, but if you stay in a hotel long enough, you begin smelling like the hotel. They have all these fluids they clean the rugs with and the drapes. But it is convenient if you run into somebody in New York, you don't ask them where they stay, you take your sniff and say, oh, you're at the Waldorf. So, after 8 weeks of being in New York and trying to sell the show, being received well by everybody, but nobody buying, on the very last day of 8 weeks on a Friday morning, ABC came in and bought the show in 15 minutes. The horror that I have is knowing that if they hadn't bought the show, I would have gone home, put the stuff away, and never come back with it again. Because you never return the next year with the same material. So that was a Flintstone saga. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you.
You realize the incredible length and breadth of what these two gentlemen have done. So it's a treat to be here tonight, a privilege for me to be able to thank them publicly, just as one fan, and to share that thank you with everybody out here who I know feels the same way. So, Mr. Hanna, Mr. Barbera, thank you very, very much.
Joe being in charge of the top end, the creative process where we create and develop shows and sell them, and Bill, of course, had the unenviable task of getting them completed and delivered to our clients. And Joe Barbera said to me something that I have never forgotten, which he's repeated to many of us and was a very good lesson. Honey, the first thing you have to learn in this business, and the only way you will survive, is you have to be able to handle disappointment and rejection. Disappointment and rejection. You have to be able to handle it, you have to be able to roll with it, pick yourself up, and move on. Great advice, true story.
The two of them had a relationship that on one hand was almost competitive sometimes, total trust in each other, an ability to collaborate in a fashion that was very, very unusual, so unique.
Bill Hanna and Joe Barbera. They're the geniuses. They were the pioneers. They're the creative, what should I say? Their animation will go on forever. It brings brings joy. You know one thing about Joe and Bill? Their shows aren't just written for one level of age or one group. They appeal to children, adults. They have humor and fun, and they're good to look at. And God bless you both, and I shall thank you and love you forever.
Bill and Joe had such a wonderful relationship, and as Margaret said, it was so special to be around them. So many people came through Hanna-Barbera. It's just amazing. It was the real university, as she said. Anybody who wanted to become anything in the animation world came out of there at that time. And the things that they did and that they gave of themselves to everybody were so unique, and the success that they achieved. They were always willing to help young people and get them started. I have to tell you, my first day at the studio, I was with Mr. Barbera, who liked to be called JB, and we were walking through the warehouse, and there were boxes and boxes of cells piled up everywhere. And at the time, nobody really knew what the cell business was about, and as you know, every half-hour cartoon generates thousands of these cells. Nobody was really doing anything with them. And I remember him saying, you know, Buddy Getzler, who was running the studio operation, he wants me to get rid of these cells. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're really, it's just junk. I think I'll keep them for a little while more, you know. Move those boxes over there and see what you can do. Well, I don't have to tell you, you go into any store today, where animation art is sold, they're all priceless.
You know, Joe Barbera, personally creatively involved in every single aspect of it. Unbelievable. Mr. Hanna, off to Poland to start an animation studio. Off to Spain to start an animation studio. Off to Australia. Anywhere he could find the talent to get these things done. It was unbelievable.